Hey guys, so we have a teaser from Dragon Ball Legends here, and it's actually been quite a while since we got our last teaser. I think the last one was for Majub and Super Saiyan 3 Goku. So it's been since the last All-Star banner that dropped, since we got the last teaser on here. But I like when they do these because it sort of brings the community together. Everyone's thinking about what it could possibly be. This one is pretty ambiguous. We have 4 different blocks here. We have a large square block, we have 2 small square blocks, and then we have 1 sort of spherical cylindrical block here. So before we even get into the video and before we even start speculating about what this could be, I want you guys down below to let me know what your initial guess is for who this is going to be teasing. Now, before we even get into this, I just wanted to reiterate that I fully expect to get the Kale and Caulifla unit to drop tomorrow. As you can see here, this is V-Jump. That was the most recent issue. They introduced a duo sort of assist Kale and Caulifla. Technically, the unit is called Super Saiyan 2 Caulifla Kale Assist, and they're a yellow type. So we'll take a look at that sort of at the end of the video, and I'll explain what I want to see out of this unit here. But they've been dropping a lot of yellow types recently. We just got Evolution Vegeta, we just got Majub. So even though like Hybrids is a tag that's dominated by that red Gohan, he's pretty much everywhere. He's omnipresent in the meta right now. They really are not afraid to go ahead and drop all these yellow units. Full Power Frieza also is another example of a yellow unit that's come out recently. So interesting. We'll see how this turns out, but I think whatever unit that this is teasing is going to drop alongside Kale and Caulifla. And because Kale and Caulifla are a unit or a character that I don't think would particularly sell that well, they're probably going to pair them up alongside a much more popular character that would entice people to summon. Female characters in this game have historically not really sold that well. So hopefully they do end up pairing them with someone who's relatively hyped to get people to summon. So we have some few guesses from people down in the comments below. I'm not going to go into a ton of details about it, but I'm just going to give my initial thoughts on this. So I looked at this for a little bit, and I wasn't really sure what to think of it at first, but then I sort of thought about it for a little bit, and I started to notice some patterns here. So first things first, we can take a look at the shapes here, right? We have 3 squares and 1 circle. Typically with shapes, right, there's not really much going on here. I like to count the sides. So we have obviously 4 sides per square, so we got 4, 8, 12, and then the circle or the cylinder has 1 side. So it's in total that's 13 sides. And when I think of the number 13, I typically think of the Dragon Ball Z movies. And we can go down the list of the Dragon Ball Z movies here. So we're starting with the Dead Zone, then we got the World's Strongest, then we got the Tree of Might, Lord Slug, Cooler's Revenge, Return of Cooler, Super Android 13, Broly Legendary Super Saiyan, Bojack Unbound, Broly Second Coming, Bio Broly Fusion Reborn, and Wrath of the Dragon. You can count Battle of Gods, and you can count Resurrection F if you want to, but I mean, the original 13 movies prior to like 2013, right? This Wrath of the Dragon movie came out in like 1995. And then it wasn't until, 18 years later that we got a sequel or another movie with Battle of Gods. So these were sort of the original 13 Dragon Ball Z movies. So I'm just going to sort of separate those off from Battle of Gods and Resurrection F. So that's sort of what I'm getting from this. This is probably going to be a movies theme here. And then when I see 4 shapes in total, there's only one thing that comes to my mind, and that's the Spice Boys. So movies, Spice Boys, Garlic Jr.'s probably coming now. There's been a lot of instances in the past where they've teased things that sort of looked like it would have leaned towards Garlic Jr. coming out. But I mean, this is pretty definitive in my opinion. There's not really much else this could be. I actually saw Swift. If you guys don't follow Swift, definitely go follow him. He's a really, really good, skilled player in PvP. He was saying maybe it could be God Topo, and I feel like maybe the reasoning behind that is because these shapes sort of indicate the pattern on his chest there, where it's sort of 2 squares, a bigger square, and then a circle. But to me, there's like no way this is true, because number 1, this is a diamond. It's not a square, which, I mean, these are all square. Like this big one is a square. It's not a diamond. And then number 2, these are red, and these are not red. So definitely not. I'm going to even close this. There's no way. I'm closing the tab. So I mean, to me, this makes a lot more sense. And then I went and digged a little bit deeper into this, And I was looking through Amazon just to see if maybe I would come up across like the product that these blocks belong to, and I came across something that's relatively similar here. We have a bunch of building blocks here. This is a the X Art, or whatever you say this, 20-piece wooden building block set, non-sponsored video by the way. Geometric building blocks, teaching blocks, stacking game, round shaped solid wood construction toy for home kindergarten. That is a very, very concise way of saying building blocks. So they come with 20 pieces, so it's a little bit more than this, but this is pretty much the closest item on the entirety of Amazon that I was able to find for these building blocks. And something that I noticed was the price was $11.19 here. That is very, very close to the price of the Dragon Ball Z Dead Zone movie here, selling for $11.10. Is that a coincidence? I would highly doubt that. There's got to be some correlation with that. So it looks like the Dead Zone just has some kind of characterization in common with these building blocks. Then you got the Spice Boys represented by the 4 blocks, and each side representing a movie, so there's 13 movies. And I guess technically what you could also say is the circle is the first side, the cylinder is the first side, which would be the Dead Zone, because the Dead Zone is the first of the 13 Dragon Ball Z movies. So my final guess is going to be Garlic Jr. for this. Let me know down below what you guys think about that sort of educated guess there. I don't really see what else it could be. It seems pretty solidified in my mind that it's going to be Garlic Jr. this time. So let's go ahead and start talking about Kale and Caulifla, because regardless of what this character ends up being, this is like a for sure thing that's coming tomorrow. So Kale and Caulifla, they're going to be yellow type. I mean, we can take a look at what their tags are going to be. It's not really going to be much different than the existing Kale and Caulifla tags. In fact, I think they'll just be on all the same tags as this purple Caulifla right here. So you're going to be on Girls, Saiyans, Universe 6, and they should be on Super Saiyan 2. Is Kale... Yeah, I guess Kale technically also is Super Saiyan 2, isn't she? So they would be on the Super Saiyan 2 tag, even though that's not like it really matter. And then Rival Universe and Universe Survival Saga. So they'll be able to use like that platinum equipment or unique equipment, however you want to call it. The one that gives like up to 35% strike attack in slot 3. So that'll be a decent equipment for them. But it doesn't... It talks about them as like massive damage dealers, but I don't think it actually mentions... I don't think it actually mentions whether or not they're a melee-based attacker. Oh no, it does. They're actually they're a ranged attacker. Okay, so they're blast-based. This is a range type attacker right here. So I guess you don't want to use that unique equipment on them for the Universal Saga, because that one is mostly strike attack. But we won't really know until we see their details, because they have in the past released a bunch of units that are either melee or range type that have stats that are very, very similar. And it honestly doesn't really matter how you build them, either strike or blast oriented. So we'll see what happens with their stat spread and their kit, whether or not they're getting blast or strike specific damage. But I think yellow actually is a really good tag when you look at the Rival Universe team, and I think that's what they're trying to go for here, right? The only real viable unit that you can use on the Rival Universe team that's yellow, I would say right now, is Champa. I mean, yellow hit can do damage, but he have not really ran into many yellow hits recently. I would much rather run Champa, and I'd be much more scared to fight a Champa than I would to fight a yellow hit. Champa's definitely good. I actually used him in my video that's going to go out tomorrow, Zenkai Buffed Green Jiren. He's still very good. The sub count reduction when he gets hit is very useful. He also is a range type attacker, so he's actually going to fulfill the same role as this Kale and Caulifla will on this team. So we're going to have to see how this plays out. Are they going to directly replace Champa? I think at this point, because Champa came out when? Almost exactly 1 year ago. I think he came out in... it might have been like the beginning of September of 2020. I don't remember, but he's like basically a year old at this point. So I would imagine a year later, these guys will probably replace Champa on the Rival Universe team, which is fine. The girls team, let's take a look at their yellow units. I mean, the only viable yellow is Zenkai 18, but the question is, are these guys going to be better than Zenkai 18? I'm going to go ahead and wager. Let me know if you guys agree with this. No. You guys let me know. Do you think that they're going to be better than Zenkai 18? I'm going to go ahead and say probably not. But if for some miracle they end up being better than 18, I guess they can help out the girls team. Or you can just run them both together, and you could do a yellow-blue team with like Zenkai Blue 21. That could be pretty interesting for the girls team. And then what other tags are they on? Universe 6, I mean, not really a runnable team. Saiyans, dude, in order to like make the Saiyan team, you have to either be a Zenkai unit or an overwhelming like support or defense unit. Like this number 1 Vegeta is going to make the Saiyan team. Zenkai Super Saiyan 3 Goku is going to make the Saiyan team. Like Zenkai, like the Namek Goku is going to make the Saiyan team. Purple Super Saiyan 3 Goku Zenkai is going to make the Saiyan team. Are Kale and Caulifla going to make the Saiyan team? Probably not. So I think what they're trying to target with this Kale and Caulifla release is Rival Universe. That to me is probably the most obvious thing for them. And because they're a ranged attacker, it seems like they're pretty much going to be fighting for that spot over Champa. The one thing I don't like about the fact that they're a range type is the fact that this tag is mostly strike-based, right? Green Jiren strike-based, Red Kefla strike-based, Purple Hit is strike-based, Dispo strike-based. I don't know. We'll see how well they end up fitting here, but I don't foresee these guys being super good. But maybe they'll surprise us. But that's pretty much all we have here. Let me know down below again what your guys' guesses are for this teaser. We should be getting the banner tomorrow night. So again, I'll be doing my typical breakdown video. I'll be doing my summons and my showcases and stuff like that. So hope you guys are excited. Hope you guys are ready for Garlic Jr. to come out. And I'll see you all in the next one.